...2021 is the year that the world is going to know about disclosure, whether it be us amateur astronomers that are trying to show some truth, or whether it be the Pentagon that has its deadline for June 2021. Head over to Jean-Claude's channel, Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 2. We'll be having a live stream. More than happy to connect with him to talk about a whole slew of things, spirituality, amongst other things that he shares with his community. I'll see you there. That will be on March 25th. And by the way, go onto his channel to set the reminder, because it's not working on my channel. You know how they, hide me. So, who gives you your news, and do you use your own good intuition and judgment when listening to any news story? Here's the question. Who do you trust, and who would you listen to for your news? Had 5 responses, and this was, at this point, 538 people that had voted. Thank you, by the way. And I'm happy to say that in general, people listen to anyone with, interesting proof. I mean, they use their own judgment, professional or not. And of course, my other favorite one was, the news are merely puppets and spokespersons for elite rulers. So a lot of us really do know, right? Even had some people with the large media associations are there to disinform you of the truth. I also agree with that. No, not all of them, but we all know that most of them are doing this. Thanks for getting back to me with the polls, everybody. We'll get a few more interesting polls up, and we'll always come back and take a quick look at them here on the videos. Over the years, chemtrail theories have sprouted out all over the internet for as long as I can remember. But on another note, imagine not just hiding or not just having to do with Earth chemtrails, but imagine chemtrails having to do with other planets. Yeah, crazy ideal, you're going to say. Well, I don't think it's all that crazy. Here's haze on the moon beside a crater, and not just hazes. We're going to go see hazes beside UFOs really close up, okay? Because this is something, obviously, that has to be seen throughout the world, because this would expose it all. Everyone who comes here knows it. I showed this yesterday too. This is something that should, this is an easy 100,000 interests of people that should be interested, at least. When you see a UFO on the surface, that when it disappears, the smoke actually dissipates from it, and you could see it going down and down. And that's not all. UFOs, like in the movies, flying saucers, look, they're lights. Watch it disappear. For you, it's just a light that went out. Well, it's not normal. I've analyzed the hazes on the surface, and there are areas where the lights go on and off. And I believe and know it's definitely not the sun. This is just a smoke that's becoming illuminated with color and disappears into the haze underneath, making me understand that, whoa, this is a complete other type of UFO. It's not for nothing. The Pentagon and whoever, Navy, everyone looking at UFOs are analyzing all the different types of UFOs for sure. So I wouldn't get any closer than this, but I will anyways, because I'm going to show you when I'm researching, and the smokes around this craft interest me. And we're not going to call it a craft right off the bat. It's a UFO. It's a phenomena on the surface of the moon. They could be called so many things, right? And that's why it's just basically really hard to come to a conclusion, all of us together, because everyone's always fighting. There's misinformation out there. But when you just look at it with your eyes, you don't have to be a ufologist to understand that you just saw and witnessed something that was alien to us. That simple. Ever since they mentioned about, the reset, the New World Order, I knew all about it, and like many of you, saw Bush, the father, speaking of it way back in the 90s, and, people probably even knew about it in the 70s and 80s. It's incredible when you think of it, that many of us are asleep in the world, and that governments are stopping the ones that are awake from helping others to understand this. It's very scary, and freedom of speech is in danger. We have to stand together and fight against that, and in the most civil way. as we've always done in the past, and that's what we should continue doing. We're looking at proof that there are structures on the surface. Aside from the lights that we see, this is Copernicus crater, and I'm showing it in an incredible way. Look at the lines. If you think that's ejecta, or that it's just sitting there naturally, you're crazier than me, who thinks that the moon's inhabited. Thought that was a good twist. So look at the light sources around this object, and I see a lot more because I've looked at the details of this, and by changing just a little bit of the like converting the image and filtering and using straight up simple negative shots, look at the straight lines on the surface, even an area where the line seems to have a gap between the other one that's more elevated. When you start analyzing, like right there, when you start analyzing it, you say, geez, it looks like there's some type of tunneling or piping. Now, we're far away, so we'll say tunneling or piping. It could be cities along that line, right? But all we know is that it's a very symmetrical line. This is beside Copernicus. It's right there. Copernicus crater, left circle is touching the edge of Copernicus crater on the top left. It's incredible to see. On the right circle, if you don't see the bridge and overlays on the surface that were built, well, just stop researching or look harder, quite simply. Here's two UFOs, different shapes and sizes and forms under the haze, on top of the haze actually, but they're going in different directions. So not only is there one light on the surface, there's a real extraterrestrial highway on the surface. The surface is well hidden, and the way it was constructed was deliberately formed in a way for us to not really understand exactly what's going on up there. Once you understand how the surface is camouflaged, you could see around the camouflage. But if there are structures up there, someone has to be going to them. Turn it up. So many lights up there like a dance club. I think the first thing anyone wants to do is to see color and detail, a real shape or form. This is headed towards the moon that's underneath it. Whoop, a fire comes from beneath it, just like us, Elon Musk technology of the rockets. I'm not saying it is. And of course, don't linger on what I said. Okay, he confirms it's a rocket. No, but look, you can see shape and form. It's incredible. Looks like an angel at one point coming down. Scary. There. You see the shapes though? That's pretty incredible. And the color that you just saw before was not filtered color. It's obviously has to do with refraction and everything, a bit of everything, but it was clear up taken with the telescope. Well, the nice weather is going to be coming back. It is coming back. Look at this object spiraling around. Watch the large object. Something will come off of it or appear near it. As you can clearly see, it's, all these details. It takes a long time to see them. It takes a lot of hours, and the only reason why I'm outside looking at UFOs is because there's a lot of activity. The activity slowed down months ago when they mentioned the Great Reset and the pandemic, and that's what made me really wonder. It's like, wait a minute, why would the UFOs slow down? And why would they know about what's happening here? Or, of course, strictly coincidental. But the skies are filled with objects. You just got to look. Well, those chemtrails are starting up again, but in a very bad way. I've never seen them that bad. I'll be also filming that and taking note of that. Looking at the sun, of course, for large objects. And in the sky with my infrared for objects like this. Objects that are large enough to actually see them spiraling around. And most of the large objects that you will capture with an infrared camera are large objects. An infrared camera goes and gets the light out in space, and obviously in lower Earth orbit, when a large snowball or asteroid meteor. Thank you so much.
We party all night long. Aliens on the moon, they must be mighty. They up there sitting down in that pontoon. They drop every Friday off in their belly party. They pop and they jump and they come in here so soon. Yeah, aliens are up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mighty on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.